because I know that there are DJs that love to produce. They'd rather produce than go on tour, but they make, a living and a career on tour. And I'm sure they also love DJing, but they love producing music more. They rather be in their studio, right? Then there are those that just do put me on tour. I just want to DJ, I know how to make music, or like I release some tracks, but it's not my heart and soul. And you can kind of tell, and you got to just ask yourself, what do you love and enjoy the most? Anyways, today's topic is a touchy one, is a very sensitive one, because this can get pretty heated. The question being, do you need to DJ to be a producer? And do you need to be a producer to DJ? They're both separate in the sense of like the producing music is making music, is creating sound. DJing is mixing the music. The approach, the skills, the everything, besides having a good ear, the skills are quite different in that regards, and the end goals are quite different in the sense of like if you're making music, the end goal is to finish your music and either get it published or released, or you hide in your drive, whatever you want to do with it. The end goal of a DJ is to make a crowd dance, is to make a party move. The fundamentals of it, they're very different. Now, how this entire thing got mixed up is because we are now living in a culture, and it really started with the electronic music culture, trance, techno, house, the ones that get the biggest shows, the ones that go on tour, were the ones that were also releasing a lot of music producers. And the first time ever in a music genre where the producers themselves want to actually be the act. Now, in pop music, we know that there's music producers, there's lyricists, and there's the actual singer, the person that then sings the song and everybody's a fan of. We're living in an era where the producer wants to also perform and be that as well. And through the short history of electronic music, it created a perspective that those that made music and produced and had the top hits, the gigs were correlated in that sense, because that's the perspective of it. We now live in an era where those that want to be that main act, the ones that want to go on tour, they go, well, I really just want to DJ, but let me get my hands dirty. Let me just suck it up because I really want that so much that let me just learn how to produce. And there are those that will, with that mindset, go into it and fall in love with it. They go, wow, this is even more fun than DJing, or just as fun. And they make great music, and it goes hand in hand. They're good DJs and they go on tour. Then there are those that sit in the studio and go, fuck this. Hey, what is this? This is absolutely boring. I can't get into it. It's not my thing. I just want to DJ. Like, what the hell? And then that's where everyone makes up their own path into how to get there. I know this is like long and stuff, but like ultimately that's my entire perspective on that. And you got to just ask yourself, what do you love and enjoy the most? Because I know that there are DJs that love to produce. They'd rather produce than go on tour, but they make, a living and a career on tour. And I'm sure they also love DJing, but they love producing music more. They rather be in their studio, right? Then there are those that just do put me on tour. I just want to DJ, I know how to make music. I release some tracks, but it's not my heart and soul. And you can kind of tell, even from the big artists, like who's still big and like pumping out music and who's big now. They wrote music before, but they don't write music anymore. They just have a platform. They're just on tour DJing. Because at the end of the day, you just have to ask yourself, what is your end goal? And understand that there's different paths. So if you go in the producer path, it's faster, way faster. Because if you're a good producer and a lot of DJs pick up your music, big labels pick up your music, you're in a good promo pool where a lot of DJs pick up your music, boom, right? That's where the overnight success that we see comes from. But if you want to just go with the pure DJ route, right, then you have to start your own parties. You have to be a great networker, an extrovert networker, and also be a good promoter as well. And then also be a good DJ. Dude, there's people like that, like Lee Burridge with All Day I Dream. The more the recent one, like Marion, from Amsterdam. He's known for his parties in Amsterdam, and he's just known to DJ. But like he's blowing up fast because he's known for that. So the answer is no, and there's different paths. Gino, I know you have your own perspective on it, so let's chat it out.
I honestly would say that in today's age, I think you do need to produce in order to make it. I can give a couple examples. For example, is like, would Metallica have been touring if they didn't have Master of Puppets? Would Metallica be touring if they were just a cover band? Would Pleasurecraft be where he was without Tarantula? You know, all these hit tracks that put them on the map. This is what gets you on the map. I don't. It's not as easy to get on the map because you played a bunch of other people's music, and there's no one really scouting you like there was when you were in a band playing at a bar, and there was an agent there that just scouted you. At this point, I tell my students that if you want to be a DJ and make it, you're better off DJing on Twitch, because you really will get scouted by somebody on Twitch rather than just putting up podcasts and mix like that. Because I actually know people who do not produce, who just went on Twitch for a long time, gained thousands of followers, and started playing around the States and Canada, which is rare these days. But the easier way, in a sense, is to get noticed by having a hit. It's the only way to stand out, in my opinion, among everybody else. And especially for the fact that everybody and their mother DJs right now, you got to do something to stand out. You know, now not every DJ is doing Twitch, so now you just found an avenue that you can go to that not everybody's doing, or be that sick producer that people want to hear.
For
And by
sure.
doing so, because again, in the 90s, it was different. Not everybody was producing. Fine, so Carl Cox and everyone else had a different approach. But today you have different ways to make it. But I totally agree with your points that you don't have to DJ, and throwing parties, like you said, like that works. But if you look at everyone out there, it's definitely a minority. Like Ben UFO, for example, I don't believe he has any productions at all. He's made it. But if you grab 100 and more, like if you make a statistic, most of them probably had a hit that brought them to where they want to be. And that's why I always push the idea that I even tell my students, I'm like, listen, a lot of my students, I'm like, stop focusing on the small things. Stop focusing on small potatoes. Don't worry about the local gigs. Play your local gigs to have fun and everything. Stay focused. Keep making tracks. Make that bomb. Get noticed, and start playing outside your hometown.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's a choice that they have to make, right? And I always say, if you go to the DJ route, it's definitely harder and longer. Harder in a sense that you kind of have to throw your own parties, or else what value are you bringing in? My impeccable DJ set, like, no, sorry, right? Like, you got to create and curate something that will take to notice, and it's not easy to throw an impeccable party consistently. So you're right in terms of that. Yeah.
And also the risk.
The risk, the financial, emotional risk,
right?
Risk, that comes with it. And it's just a longer journey too. I mean, you know, I talk about it, and take 10, 15 years, like, for you to be noticed for throwing a really good party, or if you're lucky enough to be in a great market where the market supports your events and you're able to curate a cool night. But good luck competing against, you know, the European scene in terms of how they throw their parties and how they run their shows. So it's, you know, it's not impossible, but just know that, yes, writing music is the fastest way to do it. Like, and it also gives you the highest chance as well, because DJing anywhere, I mean, you're physically located somewhere, and that's why, to your point in terms of, hey, if you want to do that, then you better have a weekly Twitch show or a daily Twitch show, because you never know who may stumble upon it and give you that opportunity. But if you're not even doing that and not writing music and throwing your own parties, then you're just a hobbyist that want to be, a professional touring DJ. I don't know what to say.
So you guys gave some good examples of people who don't produce but DJ, because obviously that was kind of the thing, like Gino said, in the 90s and whatnot. Do you guys have any examples of people who just produce but don't DJ but do really well still? Because I can think of maybe one example, but even then it's like, I don't know if
maybe, I don't know, but I do know that if you're just a pure electronic music producer, you are probably working in the music industry as like a real sound engineer, and writing this music and producing this music is more of like a passion. I mean, you know, I could be wrong in terms of genre wise, but it's purely making a living off just making electronic music and off the sales. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to hear from, if there's any, leave it in the comments, because that's fascinating. And ultimately, if you are going through this electronic music journey, trying to make a career, you write music to either get paid a lot because you're a ghost producer, or you get paid a lot because your music is good and you go on tour. I will say Dense and Pika for a while, they were just known for their music production, and they did go on tour for a little bit. But here's what I can say based on my experience, like DJing right after them or before them, is they looked exhausted. They looked like they didn't want to be there. They were older gentlemen, I have to say, and they haven't been on tour since that one time. It was like Harvey McKay, Denson Pika, myself, and another opener at Exchange. But they're great producers. They had a couple number one hits.
Yeah.
Denson Pika are great. One I could think of, but like I guess this is what some of them do, is like Junkie XL.
Yeah.
Junkie XL was making great music, and then all of a sudden, oh, sorry, he's writing for the movie 300.
Dude,
he's writing for
Matrix. For Matrix.
Oh, no. Oh, okay.
He wrote for Matrix, the movie?
He has some part in the Matrix as well.
Yeah.
So that guy kills it. But like, yeah, he is a producer. So he's then moved on to movies and then working with other real musicians, you know, and he kind of sees what we're doing, like kiddie stuff, you know, like what they're doing, real sound design, engineer.
I think that's what a lot of them do. They end up moving into cinema or scores. There's even At Jazz. I remember at one point At Jazz, he's incredible. He moved into making music for I don't know if he still does. I know he still DJs, but I know
Drum Sound Travarsi, they also do movie scores and stuff. Like their music are featured in Netflix series. I know Drum Sound was doing one for like a German show. I'm like, ooh, perfect. Your music would fit. I was like, is it a scary, eerie? He's like, yeah, it is. So yeah, I mean, that's why, you know, even in Artist Map, we say that your music has long shelf life. Like it can also be, you know, after it goes through its promo, you never know. Like house music, techno is becoming more popular. To make sure you put it in a pool where it could get licensed out to video games, movies, shows.
Oh, here's a quick tip.
Yeah.
You could see what record labels have licensing to TV shows, and then you could try to sign to those labels.
Oh, interesting. That's a good point.
Yeah. But look, back to the question, the answer is no, but it just depends on what choice you want to take. And I think you have to take what is the most fulfilling for you and the most authentic too. I think if you're just doing this for fame and a quick attention, the moment you hit your first obstacle, like major obstacle, you're gonna want out because this is too much for a lot of people to handle in terms of sustaining this journey. So, you know, take your pick in terms of choosing the road. They both have tremendous obstacles you have to overcome. So be sure to check out the links. We have courses that help you navigate and crush these obstacles ahead. Whether it's mindset approach, whether it's marketing, social media, or just brushing up your skills, you know, on Ableton. My name is Gia with 6 a.m. and Artist Map.
Atrox with Faculty of Electronic Music.
Kevin, SVS with 6 a.m. and Artist Map.
6
6VS. That's it now.
You got it, bro. Alias.
PM.
It's hard to
B's and A, like trap.
Yeah, exactly. New alias, baby.
All right, awesome. We'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.